I am a senior engineer, but instead of walking the straight path, I chose to commit a robbery. After taking the money, I even asked them to call the police. When law enforcement arrived, I offered no resistance at all. What confused everyone even more was that in court, I made no defense for myself. All I wanted was to go to prison. When I heard I was sentenced to 25 years, a faint smile even appeared on my face. Because of the severity of the case, I was placed in a cell with a death row inmate. She had 7 days left before execution, but she planned to end her life early. I watched her press a shard of glass to her artery, and I did not stop her. Only after the guards left did I rush over and hold her tightly, because she was my daughter. A few days earlier, my daughter was bullied by a thug in self-defense. She stabbed him in the neck. The thug, powerful family used their influence to get my daughter sentenced to death. I knelt before the judge with evidence, only to learn the judge had been bribed with no way out. I chose my own way to save her. I dug up every record from 20 years ago and tattooed the entire prison blueprint onto my body. My only purpose in coming to prison was to break my daughter out. The first thing I needed was a screw. I immediately spotted a rusty table with exactly what I needed underneath, deliberately knocked over my tray. And while cleaning, I started unscrewing it. To cover for me, my daughter poured boiling porridge on her arm. When someone approached, she raised her arm and begged to see a doctor. Afraid of infection, the guard sneered, saying she was about to be executed, and bacteria were slower than bullets. While Tasa, he was talking, I had already removed the screw, but when we tried to leave the cafeteria, the metal detector suddenly went off. Several guns were instantly aimed at my head. The scanner moved over my body. About to reach the screw hidden in my sock, I quickly pulled a chopstick from my hair and asked if this was what they meant. When the guard asked why I stole a chopstick, I said my hair would get messy and affect my score, so I used it to hold my hair in place. After learning I was a new inmate, the guard stopped suspecting me. Back in the cell, I took out the screw and ground it on the floor. Soon it had 6 edges. Using this homemade wrench, I removed the toilet tank, because I knew the wall behind it was the thinnest in the prison. Break through it, and you reach the sewer. Then chains rattled in the hallway. My daughter turned pale with fear. The gang boss woman had been released from solitary. She held the most power in here. Without her support, the escape would fail. So I invited her to escape with us. She not only refused, but threatened to report me. I was not worried at all, because I had investigated her before. Coming in, this fierce woman was actually loyal and righteous. She had taken the blame for her husband and spent 20 years here willingly, I told her. Her 6-year-old daughter outside was dying. She exploded in anger because she believed her daughter was fine. At that moment, her husband came to visit. I told her to decide after the visit. This time he brought a young woman and said he planned to marry her. His only regret was that their daughter was dying without money for surgery. The gang boss collapsed. Instantly, she had taken the fall for him and given him the company only to be betrayed like this. He even mocked her for being naive. After the visit, she finally agreed to the escape plan. That night the 3 of us acted. My daughter kept watch, the gang boss, and I moved the toilet tank and used the sharpened screw to dig the wall. Plaster fell bit by bit. Loose bricks were pulled out. After hours, we opened a large hole, but the prison checked every 3 hours. Someone had to be in the bed or the alarm